Hello, Mazal Tov. We're beginning a new Chumash this Shabbat. In Am Yisrael, in our Parashat, we have the description of how they sit around the Mishkan. Every Shevet has their place. In the middle, in the center is the Mishkan. The Levim are in between, but the Levim are not more important than Am Yisrael, the way it's described in this Parashat. But they have a certain role. Their role is to guard the Mishkan and to defend Am Yisrael from what could happen to them if they treat the Mishkan in a wrong way. So what it comes to tell us is the Mishkan is in the center. And how is the Mishkan called? It's called Mishkan Ha'idut in our parasha. Mishkan Ha'idut. We see this about Shevet Levi, V'Leviim Yachanu Saviv LeMishkan Ha'idut. Am Yisrael, they also are around Ohel Moed. Two different names to the Mishkan. Mishkan Ha'idut and Ohel Moed. Ohel Moed maybe is called that way because this is where Am Yisrael mitva'ed, meets with Hashem. This is the place of Asherat Shechina. Mishkan Ha'idut is called this way because it's the place of where the Torah rests. Luchot Ha'idut. So we have the Luchot Ha'idut and we have the place of Asherat Shechina. And what the description of how Am Yisrael are sitting in the Midbar, this comes to tell us what should be in the center of Am Yisrael's life. It's a very, very descriptive, it's a physical way of pointing out to Am Yisrael what should be the center of their lives. Torah and the connection to Hashem. Luchot Ha'idut and Ohel Moed. That is the center. That should be the heart of Am Yisrael's lives. And I think that this is not only telling us what has been in the past, of course, but this is a guideline for ourselves. There are two different ways of understanding what the point of a mezuzah is at the entrance of a home. We know the story of an Onkelos who laughed when the Romans took him out of his house and he put his hand on the mezuzah and he said, "Look at this. For us, our king is guarding us. The mezuzah is on the outside, we're on the inside." If we think that way, we could maybe mistakenly think that we are the more important. We're in the center of things. But the Rambam says the idea of the mezuzah is to remind us when we come in and out of the house what we believe in, who we are, what is the center of our lives. And it's very clear in our parasha that the parasha is trying to point this out to us. What is the center of Am Yisrael's life? The Torah and the connection to Hashem. And I think that this is, of course, not only relevant for the time of the Midbar, but this is very relevant for our lives. Yes, we don't actually sit around the Mishkan, but when we live our lives on a daily basis, is it felt to us, to our families, to our children, to our surroundings, that our heart is the Torah? We are today on Yom Yerushalayim. Yom Yerushalayim comes in an amazing time between Pesach, Yom HaAtzmaut, and Shavuot. And Yom Yerushalayim right there, the Hashgacha made sure that we should see that there's a connection. Yom Yerushalayim is a week before Shavuot, telling us that when we think about Medinat Yisrael, when we think about a Jewish life in Eretz Yisrael, it's a very important idea. It's a very important ideal. We have to thank for it and be grateful for it because it's so wonderful. But what we are hoping for, what we are praying for, what we strive for is that we'll manage to bring this concept of Yerushalayim, the Mekom HaMikdash, Shavuot, Chag Matan Torah, that this should be the heart of our lives in Eretz Yisrael as individuals and as a nation. Yiratzon shenizkeh. Shabbat Shalom and Yom Yerushalayim Sameach.